Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, no matter where you're calling in from. We're super grateful to have you here today for the next edition of Music Biz's Common Ground webinar series. My name's Henrik Bick. I'm here with the communications team at Music Biz, and I'm glad to welcome you to today's session. Before we introduce our host, I have a couple of housekeeping notes for you. Just a reminder to make the most of today's webinar. Be sure to change the chat settings on your chat bar to everyone, so that way you can connect with the rest of the folks who are here in attendance today. We will be taking questions for Q&A at the end of today's webinar. In order to utilize that, be sure to open the Q&A dashboard on your Zoom window by pressing the Q&A button. There you can type in our questions and today's presenters will be able to see them for answering at the end of the webinar through that dashboard. Before we kick off, just a couple of notes about our next big in-person event, which is Music Biz 2025, taking place May 12th to the 15th at the Renaissance Atlanta Waverly. Earlier today, we pushed out an announcement about our Busy Awards for this year. It'll be taking place the evening of Wednesday, May 14th, right on site at the Renaissance Atlanta. We today shared the list of finalists in our 7 crowdsourced award categories. Thanks to everybody who nominated their peers and their colleagues for those awards. We also have information about this year's Presidential and Impact Awards, which will be presented posthumously to Cindy Charles of Twitch and to DDEX, respectively. You can visit musicbiz.org or musicbiz 2025 for news on that and more around the conference. We also have our rolling updating agenda, which is interactive and available to you now, both through musicbiz.org and at musicbiz2025.com. While you're at the conference website, you can also register for the event, book your on-site hotel room, take advantage of any sponsorship and meeting room opportunities, which we have left. There's very few, but they are open, as well as take a look at the schedule and start planning your trip while you are in Atlanta with us for our very first Atlanta-based Music Biz conference. While you're at our website, also be sure to check out our upcoming slate of webinars through the education section. We have sessions running through May 1st, and some of them will be announced early next week. You can find announcements for virtual events like our webinars, Music Biz conference-centric announcements, and other in-person and virtual event announcements, both on our website and on our social accounts at Music Biz Assoc on LinkedIn and Instagram. Finally, while you're at our website, also be sure to check out our The Future of What podcast. Our president, Portia Sabin, has been hosting it for the past 5 years. And something special we're doing this year is bringing in some Atlanta-centric executives from around the music and entertainment spaces to talk about why this is such a great time to bring Music Biz to Atlanta. Most recently, we spoke with Shahar Oren from Sound Media Ventures and formerly of Peloton fame for talking about why the music, tech, and startup space is very excited for the Music Biz conference to be hitting Atlanta this May. But enough about future things. Let's talk about today. Please welcome from the Noctil team, Jacob Varghese. Jacob, thanks for being here. Take it away.
Thanks, Henrik. Hello, everyone. My name is Jacob Varghese. I'm the founder of Noctil. We are a metadata management company. We provide software solutions we founded the company focusing on the how to improve efficiency, how to improve accuracy, how to improve transparency in royalty collection and distribution process. So we understand that metadata is the core, the foundation for this process. So we built the product managing the metadata and providing different functionalities such as like matching and data exchange, ingesting different industry standards and supporting that. I'll give you a quick explainer video right now, and we'll go from there.
How can music businesses maximize efficiency and revenue using their data and our innovation systems without a dent in the budget? Say hi to Noctil, Expand your business capabilities with Noctil platform to unlock hidden value in metadata and transform it into higher revenue. A cost-effective and quick solution for faster business outcomes. Noctil Data Fort protects metadata from inconsistency, inaccuracy, and duplication, and it transforms it into reliable formats for better collaboration. Noctil Match IQ improves royalty by optimizing usage matching and metadata duplication before any of it reaches your core repository. We believe in providing accuracy and efficiency. Noctil Process Engine offers data enrichment based on flexible rules and efficiently automates complex calculations. Our platform and approach reduces operational costs, improves the speed and agility of the current process, and unlocks hidden revenue. Make Noctil your partner in enriching customer experiences. Metadata management is made easy with Noctil.
Thank you. So that is about us, and I would like to introduce Kortnee from ACTRA.
Hello, everybody. My name is Kortnee Borden. I am the Associate Director at ACTRA RACS. ACTRA is the trade union that represents performers for film, television, and commercial work for English-speaking productions in Canada. So very similar to SAG-AFTRA in the United States. ACTRA has over 80 years of advocating for performers. And the department I work for, RACS, the Recording Artists Collecting Society, is a division of ACTRA that collects and distributes neighboring rights royalties to musicians for their performance in sound recordings. Meaning, whenever a song or a recording that a performer played on is played to the public, either through commercial radio, satellite radio, or in a bar, or in a gym, or any other type of establishment, we make sure that the royalties collected based on those licenses are collected and distributed to the performers that performed on those sound recordings. And it could be any performer. It could be, the featured performer or the members of the band, or it could be the session musicians. So even if you're a person who contributed sound claps, you're clapping on the recording, or you played drums, or you played bass, or whatever the case may be, you are entitled to these what are referred to as neighboring rights royalties. Neighboring rights royalties were established almost 30 years ago in Canada, and ACTRA was one of the organizations that lobbied to the Copyright Board of Canada to change the Copyright Act in order to establish these royalties for performers. Last year, ACTRA RACS distributed over $18 million in royalties to over 60,000 rights holders.
Thanks, Kortnee. Thanks for the introduction. Thanks for joining, first of all. And yeah, I think this is more of a question and answer, asking some of the questions related to how metadata is important for ACTRA RACS, and what are the main challenges in managing, the metadata coming from different sources and processing and effectively helping the artists collect maximize their revenue and distribute it, in a timely fashion. So one more question I have is, can you explain it? If I'm an artist from Canada and my tracks are played in Brazil, do I get the money from other countries, other territories?
Yeah. So the way that it works is that we have what are called reciprocal agreements with various societies from around the world. And through these reciprocal agreements, what we do is we make sure that we are collecting for whatever rights are due to the performers that we represent in the foreign territories. And we also make sure that we are distributing the royalties due to the performers represented by those other territories for the usage in Canada. So that's the reciprocal aspect of it. So when a performer, gives us a mandate to be able to collect on their behalf, what they do is they let us know what territories they would want us to collect from them. So they're giving us a mandate to collect in Canada, and then they can let us know if they want us to collect in other territories around the world. And they could let us know specifically what territories. They could give us, they could simply just give us a worldwide mandate, and we'll just go out to all the societies that we represent and then collect from all of those societies. Or they can carve out specific territories for which they want us to collect, and they can then go and figure out what they want to do for the ones that they've chosen for us not to collect from. So it really is up to the performer. It really is up to the artist to sort of, manage and sort of decide how they want their royalties to be collected. So the way that it works, if in the example that you just gave with the society in Brazil, is once a year we'll receive from the society in Brazil, Abramus, or there's actually many different societies in Brazil, but Abramus being one of them, we will receive their airplay information for the territory. And so what we do is we then take that airplay information and we match it against our repertoire, the repertoire of the performers that we represent.
Okay, great. So in this process, I think the metadata of the repertoire metadata is the crucial part of this complete process. Where do you get this data, and how do you make sure that this is accurate or this is, complete?
Yeah, it's a great question. We receive data from various sources, the repertoire data, specifically the repertoire data. So the repertoire data we receive from the performers themselves. I mean, they would be the ultimate source of the data. They're the ones in the studio, so they would have a great idea about who contributed what and all the other metadata that's associated with the recording. We also receive repertoire information from the managers that represent the performers. So if a performer is not very hands-on and they've signed on to a manager or an agent that represents them, the repertoire information will flow through from that management or agent that they've given the rights to be able to collect. Then we also receive repertoire information from other CMOs from around the world, from the various CMOs that we have agreements with. So there's many different sources of repertoire information flowing in through us. And the issues that we face is that there's no real standardization in how the data is coming through. So, what would be considered mandatory data in some territories may not be considered mandatory data in others. At its core essence, I mean, what we're trying to do is we're trying to match as much repertoire to as much usage as possible, as efficiently as possible. That's the way we yield as much value to our rights holders. And so metadata plays an important role, because the best way to be able to match it efficiently and accurately is through having as much data, as much metadata as possible to know and to be able to know with certainty that you are linking the proper recording to the proper usage information and being able to pay that out efficiently.
Sure. Do you get identifier data along with this metadata, and how reliable is those identifiers?
Yeah. So on the recording level, we receive an ISRC with the, and that's not always. It's not sort of like mandatory or anything like that. So sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. When we do, it's great to have. But it is also not the end all and be all in terms of the data. We find that there's in certain cases there's duplication in ISRCs. Sometimes, depending on the source that we're receiving it from, it may be the incorrect ISRC. So while they're great unique identifier to have, it's not the only prevailing source of information or piece of identification. We also receive what are called IPNs. That's the International Performer Number. These are unique IDs that are for performers, and helps us identify the rights holders on a recording as well. So those are two main identifiers that we use. In terms of other important metadata, though, there's also the duration of the song, the studio in which the song was recorded, the country it was recorded, the country it was released, the year of release, the year it was recorded. Like, all of this information is super helpful for us in order to be able to know with certainty that we are matching the right recording with the right piece of usage.
Sure. That leads to my next question, that clean metadata leads to better payout.
Yeah.
What exactly that means? How do you elaborate that? Could you?
Yeah, I mean, for us, it's really, the key component here again is sort of making sure with certainty that we are matching the right recording with the right piece of usage, and you only achieve that through being able to match as much of the data as possible, right? And so that's where that metadata plays a very significant role. If we only have the main artist name and the song title as the two pieces of information to match something to something else, I mean, if there's many different recordings of that song, of a particular song by a particular artist, we won't know for certainty if we're just going by the main artist name and the song title. We don't know if it's a live version, if it's a remix, or any of that. We can't say with certainty unless we have that metadata that's available.
I see. So we know that ACTRA is a forward-thinking in various approaches for improving efficiency and this payout for artists. So what are the tools and initiatives you have, you're doing right now or you have done, and what real outcome, the business outcome from those?
Yeah, I mean, you have to be forward thinking in this business, and you have to stay on top of technology for sure. It's a very competitive business, and it's also, one where that the volumes of data is constantly growing. As the business grows, as this side of the business grows, neighboring rights, the volumes of data continue to grow. And I think that's one thing that sets ACTRA apart from the rest of the societies. We are by all measurements, we are what are considered a smaller society or a mid-sized society. We are not for profit, so we have to be very sort of resourceful in what we do. And that's why using Noctil, for instance, was a key component to us. It came at a pivotal time in Canada. There was changes to our distribution, to the distribution landscape here, which meant there was going to be an influx of usage data coming into us. And we needed to make sure that we had the tools to be able to match our repertoire to that influx, this scaling up of the usage data. So it came at a very pivotal moment, and was very much like a game changer for us in terms of how we do things and how we run the business. So.
Sure. In Canada, I think compared to other countries, I think the licensing is different. It's owned by a different organization, and collection or distribution is with different societies, right? So the reporting, the licensing and the reporting, that's an important part of this equation, right? So how do they make sure this reporting is accurate? And is there a process there? And
yeah, so under the Copyright Act, if we're talking about for instance, the commercial radio tariff in Canada, Tariff 1A, under the Copyright Act, the broadcasters are obligated to supply reporting of all of the recordings that are played on their stations. So that comes in from all of the radio stations, all the commercial radio stations in Canada. It comes into Resound, who is that's the umbrella organization that does the licensing collections for Canada on behalf of all the members. So all of that data comes in. They ingest all of that data. There is consolidation of that data, some consolidation, not a bunch of consolidations of that data. And then that data is provided to us, and we match our repertoire against that data. So, what we saw happen in Canada was when it came to that usage data coming in from the broadcasters, we were seeing maybe, a summary of, 150 to 200,000 recordings in a given year, unique recordings in a given year. Now that number is more in the hundreds of thousands, over 1 million recordings in a given year. And so we're matching our repertoire against that usage. And so it's important that we yield as much and we match as much of our repertoire against that usage, against the usage, in order to be able to make sure that we're efficiently paying out our rights holders.
Sure. So I think the important part of this is more of accuracy in the metadata and completeness of the metadata. And in the supply chain of this, there are different stakeholders. They provide different, in a different point, they provide different set of data.
Yeah.
Especially the artists. So what are the responsibilities, or what can artists do to help them improve their revenue? So what's your guidance or to the artists?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, a lot of times what we're asking for from the artists is to just supply us with as much information as possible. So we have like a repertoire or submission form, an Excel sort of document, and there's different fields there. We ask that they fill out all of those fields, as many of those fields as possible, right? I mean, it only helps us. The more data, the better for us, right? So we ask that they complete it to the best of their ability, so that we have as much information there to be able to match against. And then we run that information through Noctil, and it then compares that to what's already existing in our system. It matches 100% those recordings that do match 100%. And then the other ones that where it doesn't, the algorithm then gives us a percentage, a suggested match. And then we have folks on our team here that then review those potential matches and identify whether they are or are not, in fact, a match to the existing recording. So it's having that data from the get-go, from the artist, from the performer, it's very, very key. And something that we couldn't stress enough as being something that is very helpful in getting those royalties efficiently out to the performers that we represent.
Got it. Thanks. So I think based on your experience, based on all these initiatives and improvements you have seen, we continuously improving things, right? And what are the recommendation or suggestions to other agencies like yours, to improve efficiency or improve accuracy of payout or improve transparency? If artists can see where the data or where the money is coming, where their tracks are playing, and what type of audience, maybe that may not be there, but there are some way we can correlate some of this data to help the artist and give more insights and more transparency in the payout process. So do you have any kind of advice or back to other agencies?
Yeah. Having been around this side of the business for nearly 20 years, I've seen the change and that's gone on the neighboring rights side. I mean, in the past, people didn't really know what neighboring rights was and weren't really aware of it. Now it's a lot more prevalent. It's become an important revenue stream for performers. And with that comes the transparency, the granularity, right? We have a lot of members who want to know, how their recordings are doing in certain territories and what type of usage it's getting. What type of is it being played on commercial radio? Is it being played on satellite radio? Is it being played in bars and restaurants? And what territories? I mean, this all helps them in terms of their making their business decisions as well. And it also just helps them know, how things are performing in the world market. So yeah, that granularity is that type of granularity is very, very important. So that is something that, all collecting societies around the world have to be aware of and have to sort of make sure that they're adding that service to their members. And then it's just In this business, what separates, one society apart from another is just your ability to manage and have quality data. That is really the difference maker. A lot of people on my team, they don't like it when I say this because we work in the music industry, we deal with musicians, we deal with people who are creating, but we are also very much so in the data business. As much as this is the music industry, this is the data business. What separates us from the rest is our ability to be able to manage the data in an efficient manner and be able to pay out performers in an efficient manner. And that's what's going to matter at the end of the day. That's where our clients will see the value in what we do. And that's why they'll stick around and they'll continue to keep their mandate with ACTRA RACS when it comes to their neighboring rights. So.
Sure. So one of the key performance indicator is how much money you can collect and how much money you can distribute, how fast you can distribute to these artists, right? So that's how, if you improve that and if you improve efficiency in terms of I'm sure there is some kind of an administration percentage is
That's
there,
right?
So how efficiently we can do the process and reduce that as a not-for-profit company. That's
And I think it's important to say that it's important that we service all ends of the tail. Like, this is a long tail sort of business, and it's important that we're servicing not just the top performers but all performers along along the chain. And so yes, obviously a key metric is how much money you're distributing at the top line, but I'm also very proud of the number of rights holders that we pay out and the number of recordings that we pay out. Those are two big measurements for me as well. So it's not just about paying out the big artists and that's it. It's about making sure that everybody is getting royalties in an efficient manner. So that's something that we also look for and make sure and take pride in, as well as making sure that everybody is also getting the royalties that are due to them.
Sure. All right. Thank you so much, Kortnee, for sharing this wonderful information, and it's very informative. And we have a bunch of questions. I think we can maybe spend some time for answering some of these questions.
Sounds good.
And as we queue up the Q&A here, I wanted to just thank you both, Jacob and Kortnee, for spending time with us today. It's much appreciated to hear about this side of the business and just how Noctil services can help to kind of reinvigorate things on the metadata side. Our first question comes in, and it's an interesting one, talking about neighboring rights in the United States. Alvin writes in and says, I believe Sound Exchange collects royalties for the USA. So could we talk a little bit about what neighboring rights kind of looks like in the US?
Yeah, so in the United States, you do have neighboring rights, and that is for satellite radio. So for Sirius XM for the most part, and that is collected and distributed by Sound Exchange. Correct, that is correct, and they do that both for the performers and the label on the label side. So there's neighboring rights are split 50-50, 50% to the performers and 50% to the labels, and Sound Exchange collects for both. So if you are a self-releasing artist, you should be signed up for both sides of things. You should be signed up as a performer for your performances, and for on the label side. One of the things, though, is Sound Exchange distributes, to the best of my knowledge, distributes only to the featured performers on recordings. They do not handle the non-featured performers. That is handled by the fund, the SAG-AFTRA fund. So whereas us at ACTRA, we deal with both featured and non-featured for Canada, and Sound Exchange only deals with the featured performers.
Yeah, the 45% is going to the main artist and the 5% goes to the fund. So that 5% is divided into all non-featured artists.
Yeah. And also the big difference in Canada is that we have a tariff for commercial radio. So terrestrial radio, that does not exist in the United States. As much as we would like it to, it does not exist in the United States. So that is also a big difference between the two. And all of these rights vary from territory to territory, from country to country as well, right? So it's based on the copyright legislation in that territory. So there are some rights that exist in some territories that do not exist in others as well.
Excellent. Thank you both for that. Our next question comes in from Adam. It's a good one for you, Jacob. Does Noctil primarily handle sound recording metadata, or is it also useful for indie publishing administrators, for example?
Yeah, so we are a no-code platform to support different type of metadata. So we do have master sound recording side as well as the musical work side. So our customers are not only the collective organizations. We support publishing companies, we support labels, we support rights administrators so we have both the musical work metadata as well as the repertoire, the master side data. So we could provide support all different type of entities within the music industry. So we do have a lot of different industry standard also. We support all the DDEX standard as well as when you look at the musical work or the CWR and other EDI based legacy standards also we support. Most of the publishing companies business, we provide that the whole distribution of their catalog to different PROs around the world and helping them to making sure that the catalog is registered in all territories and successfully registered, and they have all the confirmations from that, etc.
Thank you, Jacob. Folks, just a reminder, if you have any other questions as we're going through Q&A here, feel free to drop them in the Q&A box and we will be getting to them shortly here. Our next question has to do with matching. What is the minimum matching criteria for payout or percentage of matching, or at least what needs to be matched for a correct payout?
So the matching, I can talk about just matching, but the more regulations, specific regulation is up to each society and each country specific, I believe. Correct me, Kortnee. But there are a lot of different attributes needs to be. The idea is to making sure that whatever you are playing is the right catalog or the repertoire, right? And so that it can correctly identify the right owners within that. So the matching is very important to identify exact match, right? So we do a lot of different attributes. We do a network of different relationship and closely identify that this is an exact match. So as a tool, we provide that capabilities with the different scoring, different mechanism to give a scale of how close that matches, right? But it's up to the society, it's up to the agency to determine whether, okay, this is what they want as the match to distribute the money.
Thank you so much. Our next question comes in from Michelle regarding neighboring rights spreadsheets. If the lead vocalist has been hired work for hire as a session vocalist, would one list them as the featured artist on the spreadsheet, or could the creator of the music be listed as the featured artist?
Good question. That usually comes down to contractually. So when we say lead artist or featured artist, it doesn't necessarily mean feature or lead vocals. So it could be that in that instance they are considered part of the non-featured portion, even though they had lead vocals on the recording. Usually, what we say is the featured artist is the named artist on the recording, right? So they would be named in the track main artist name in order to be part of the featured performer. So whether that's as a member of the band that is named, or as a vocalist that is named in the recording.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that, Kortnee. Next question comes in from the chat. Brian wants to know about Noctil. Interested to know if your services are integrated with distribution companies such as CD Baby.
No, we don't do the distribution, but we provide the metadata for the distribution. So we are not we are not integrating a solution for, you cannot use it as an integrated solution for distributing your content to CD Baby or any distribution service. But we provide data delivery to these companies.
Thank you, Jacob. Looks like we're coming to the end of questions. We have maybe one or two coming in, but I just want to take the time again. Thank you to both of you for being here today. We really appreciate you not only sharing your time and your talent, but also walking through today's questions. We super appreciate it. Adele writes in about Noctil and asks who their customers might be specifically. Are they purely collection societies or other industry entities?
Yeah, like I answered before, so we provide solutions to collective societies as well as the publishing companies, labels, and rights administrators. So there are various different entities in the music business we provide service.
Thank you so much. Looks like we are at the end of questions here, unless there's anything else that comes in the last few minutes here. I want to say thank you to everybody who spent their time with us today on today's webinar. Super appreciate you being here. And again, thank you, Jacob. Thank you, Kortnee, for representing both Noctil and ACTRA today. Super appreciate y'all being here. Look forward to welcoming everyone to our next webinar coming up in 2 weeks' time. And until then, you all take care and have a great rest of your day and week.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you, everybody.